West Ham Network, it's Holly and I am here with your headlines for today, Tuesday the 10th of October, run in association with the great guys at kumb.com. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and drop us a comment below as well so that you're getting as involved as possible in the conversation. And of course, if you're new around here, please make sure you subscribe so you never have to miss a video. As always, we have a lot to discuss. It may be international break, but that doesn't mean the action stops. So let's take a little look at today's headlines. Up first, it is international break, as I said, meaning the action switches slightly away from the Premier League. But the good news is, as we know, this means that we are going to be able to potentially see more of Bowen in action if Southgate chooses to use him. Now, it's clear to see how much this means to Bowen, who has missed out on being included in the squad time and time again. And it's upset many West Ham fans who can't understand why he wasn't getting a chance. But finally, he has made it back in, despite Southgate being reluctant and taking his time to give him the opportunity. Bowen's stats have clearly made it absolutely impossible to ignore him. If you looked on social media, there were fans of all teams. It's not just West Ham fans that were desperately wanting the answer to why he wasn't getting in the team. But he's gone and done it, and he's made it impossible to ignore him any longer. And there's no doubting that he's in the absolute form of his life. Now, interestingly, Bowen's inclusion in the England squad could end up costing West Ham. And this isn't because he'll be away from the team training or because it's going to put him at risk of injury, but actually because of an interesting clause in our contract with Hull. So when we signed Bowen, there was a clause in the contract that said that we will pay £1 million to the Allen family should Bowen make his fifth appearance for England. And with this likely to come during this international break, it's going to kick into action by the sounds of it. So should he feature against either Austria or Italy, this clause will be activated and we will need to pay up. And we know how difficult it can be for players to break into the England squad or prove themselves when they aren't one of the usual choices or someone from the top six clubs. So at the time, I'm sure that this seemed like a pretty unlikely situation. But here we are, finding ourselves probably needing to pay out this million. However, obviously, even if we do have to pay this £1 million, to us that's a lot of money. In the footballing world, I guess it's a relatively small sum of money for having a player that is at the top of their game, and that's why we're facing this situation. Bowen has been an absolute bargain. He joined for £18 million from Hull City in 2020. He's been a key part of our team in recent years, and obviously he's scored 45 goals in 166 outings for the club, many of which have come at the most important times where we've needed them more than ever. So let us know in the comments how you're feeling about Bowen being called up for England. Are you delighted? Are you worried about injuries? Or is it a little bit bittersweet for you and you're both happy and concerned at the same time? Drop us a comment and let us know your thoughts. Up second, West Ham have announced that Rigge has signed his first professional contract with the club. The attacking midfielder put pen to paper at Chadwell Heath, having been part of the squad that has won the Under-18 Premier League South Division title and the FA Youth Cup last season. So he is enjoying a very successful time at West Ham. Looking at his stats, the 17-year-old has scored 3 goals in 5 league matches for Kevin Keane's team and is thrilled to continue his development in East London. He said, "I'm very proud. It's a huge moment for me and my family because it's every young player's dream to sign their first professional contract, especially at a club like West Ham United. It's given me a lot of confidence that the club believes in me and hopefully I can do well at West Ham in the future." So as always, we know how much it means to these players finally getting the pen on paper and getting that contract signed. And it looks as though he could be another one with a very bright future ahead of him. The former England Under-16s international joined the Academy of Football from Man City, signing scholarship terms in July 2022. He featured 24 times in all competitions in the 22-23 season and scored 2 goals in important victories against Brighton and Spurs. He also appeared on 3 occasions as the Under-18s lifted the FA Youth Cup for the 4th time in West Ham's history. So we're enjoying quite a lot of success with the younger teams. And as we know, we've all wanted the Academy of Football to keep producing really good talent. We are now seeing the product of this, as it seems we're having lots of promising young people, first of all, come into the academy, secondly train up, and then hopefully eventually make their way into the first team. Fingers crossed. And he added, "Last season was really good with the trophies we won. I've learnt so much from Kevin over the past year or so. He's a great manager that gets the best out of all of us." So positive words from all the youngsters as well about Keane, which is great to hear. So congratulations to Rigge, and it's great to have another positive signing for the future of the Academy of Football. And finally, it would be rude to not mention the man that is exciting a lot of West Ham fans at the moment, Mohamed Kudus. Shearer actually spoke this week about how Kudus managed to turn the game around for us when we were struggling against Brighton. Now, as we know, in the second half, Newcastle came back fighting, and we did struggle to hold them, conceding 2 goals in pretty quick succession. We struggled to hold them back in the same way that we did in the first half, but there was one man that came, he saved us, and he got us a point with that late goal. It was Mohamed Kudus. So Shearer spoke about David Moyes' substitution of Kudus, saying that he was great when he came on. He looks brilliant and that he scored a fantastic goal. So a lot more attention is now surrounding Kudus, which is no surprise. We knew that he was going to be an exciting player. It's good to see that he is hitting the ground running with the opportunities that he's been given. And now the question remains, when are we going to see him start? So Kudus is obviously starting to gain a lot of admiration in the media, especially because he's getting more game time and he's just proving himself every time he gets that chance. The best bit is that it has left us with a very good problem, and that is, of course, team selection. Now, the popular opinion seems to be that we could drop Antonio for Kudus, playing him up top, rotating between the two, and then almost having a bit more of a free role for the 3 up top. Rotating essentially Kudus and Antonio as needed. But there is one thing for sure, and that is that Kudus is good enough to be playing a lot more. And on top of that, it seems that if he gets more minutes on the pitch, he's going to be able to score some more goals. He's very exciting with the ball at his feet. He can carry it beautifully in a similar way to Bowen, where he can kind of just drive through the middle, which brings us a whole new side to our game. If we can combine that with the set pieces, I think West Ham will be a team to force to be reckoned with. That's what I wanted to say. I'm actually going to be probably touching on this situation in a little bit more detail in upcoming videos with how we manage this wonderful problem that we find ourselves with, having so many midfieldery, strikery, wingery players that can all play in certain positions better than others, but they are all in contention for a few spots. Could we actually manage to properly do squad rotation? Sorry if you can hear my dishwasher in the background there. So that's an interesting one. We now have 12 days though until we find out whether Kudus will get his first Premier League start against Villa. And that is all for today's Hammers headlines. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you have subscribed and hit the thumbs up if you've enjoyed this video so we know the kinds of content that you like. If there's any kinds of content that we're not producing that you'd like to see or that you enjoy on other channels and you wish that we did a version of it, let us know, drop it in the comments, and we'll see what we can do because we're always looking for new ideas at West Ham Network to keep you guys happy and to keep you guys in the loop. So let us know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Have a brilliant rest of your day. And until next time, come on, you Irons.